I suppose I should have bought the beta nether shadows they had before.
There are a lot of nether shadows.
There are a lot of nether shadows.
That's a good feeling to know that it caused that.
Yeah, take a little while. So, would you add anything else to your Manic? You don't want like your Taxian Probe or anything of that variety?
And I was talking to Ari about this too. Is like it just gets countered by Mental Misstep, in which case it sets you back a turn, and you basically time walked yourself.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would put it in there. The only problem now is people are probably going to start bringing back Leyline of the Void, so I don't know if I can even play this deck anymore. This is probably the perfect tournament for it.
Yeah, we're talking about how like Dredge is the best deck to play when it's not the best deck,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And then you'll have to go into hiding, like go into some camp up in the hills for a couple months and come back down, and then battle in another Star City Open.
Maybe when the Invitational rolls around,
just
it'll
in time
be
for
good
the
again.
Invitational, right?
Invitational is a really good event for Dredge. Probably it's a lot of blue decks from last time,
and it's half legacy, so just in case something goes awry. So speaking of your loss today, you lost to Leyline of the Void.
Correct.
Is there anything you can do about that, or you just have to fold them?
You just have to fold to it. I mean, you could probably try and jam some like Undiscovered Paradises and make room for like Nature's Claims, but I think it clogs up the board too much.
Clogs up your deck too much when you board them in.
Yeah, it really does. It waters down because you gotta I really had a hard time sideboarding today, and a lot of it was just shaving off one-ofs. Like Phantasmagorian for Gigapede was a very simple trade for me, especially when you're trying to play around hate in games, 2 and 3. But after that, it's like boarding out one Street Wraith, one Shambling Shell, one Golgari Thug, one of the 2 Dread Return targets, depending on what match it's what match you're playing in. So.
Let's see. So let's look at some of the questions people have here. Why don't you playing Flamekin Zealot in your deck?
The matchups where Flamekin Zealot was okay against was the ones where it was too much win more. Like there's certain matchups. Like I'm glad I didn't have to play against Ben Weinberg and Hive Mind because I really don't know how I beat that. Other than just trying to race him. There's the turns where you want Flamekin Zealot. It's just irrelevant. It just doesn't really matter. You're better off just over the course of 2 or 3 turns, getting your bridge tokens, getting the Nether Shadows and Icarids coming back. Just a steady stream of card advantage, plus it takes up a slot in the deck, which I know it's one slot, but that one slot is a big deal.
Right. And only in the combo matchups is when you really need that.
Yeah, that's really the only thing you need. You do have the Iona, which also I think is a better Dread Return target against the combo matchups.
Could Sadistic Hypnotist some.
You could. I think Cabal Therapies are just enough to go.
Yeah, but if you're looking for something more along those lines, like you don't really need the Flamekin. Like Sadistic Hypnotist is less cards, probably easier to go with.
It might be something to think about for the board.
Yeah, or just a second Iona, which you did have.
Which I did have. Yep.
Yeah. And which of your targets were the best for you over the weekend?
Which were the best? Gigapede, oddly enough, just returning that against blue-white control decks. There goes my phone again. Just returning that against blue-white, they don't have a whole lot of outs for it. What are other ones? Inkwell Leviathan, which I wasn't sure I wanted to play today, but after talking with some friends and things like that, it settled on it, and that was probably the second best one. Elish Norn never came into effect. Woodfall Primus did. What else came in? Stormtide Leviathan. Lawan, I got Lawan back to someone's hand, a Progenitus, after they ordered it out, which felt pretty good. But there were so many that just weren't a factor. And it could just be because I didn't see the matchups. Like I didn't play a lot against Goblins or other aggro matchups where Elish Norn and some of the anti-creature cards were relevant.
Right. I mean, and when your sideboard is 11 one-ofs, right? 11 one-ofs.
4 Contagions, 11 one-ofs.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect to use all of those 11 one-ofs.
Exactly.
Did you use Contagion today?
I did not. I didn't face against any jailers, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I thought about siding it in the quarterfinal or semifinals matchup, just to be able to deal with like Bob and Hexmage before they can remove my bridges. But I figured water my deck down too much, and it's not what I wanted.
Fair enough.
And there was one other question from Twitter.
Okay.
You're playing against Manaless Dredge, and you board in Leyline of the Voids. How far do you mulligan for them?
How far? Boy. If I'm playing against Manaless Dredge, I think you go to at least 5.
I mean, if you're playing something like Mono Blue, it might even be worth it. You go to a 1, you're not going to beat them anyway.
Yeah. I thought you were thinking like if you put. Never mind. Okay, if you you go as far as you can because you cannot beat it.
Yeah.
Unless you get like some ridiculous hand where you've got like counterspell backups for the early Cabal therapies. Yeah. Can like Stoneforge out something, or like against Ruben in the quarterfinals.
Propaganda.
Yeah, propagandas, tabernacles, energy fields, some things that are hard for me to deal with.
Yeah.
If you get a good mix of those, like multiples of them, then I don't think you need to go for Leyline. But if your hand's just like a bunch of counter spells and some card drawing, like it's
The usual blue hand, yeah.
The usual blue hand, go for the Leyline.
Yeah, definitely. So real fast before, I know you have people to attend to. Your phone's blowing up. You've got all kinds of friends waiting for you. You've got practically a crowd of cheerleaders waiting here wanting to talk to you. So, but real fast though, are you gonna be attending any more Star City Open events around here? Have you ever been on the circuit?
Now, because I'll have one bye, I think. No, wait.
No, there are no more
No,
buys.
no more.
No more buys. Never mind then. I'll definitely be attending the Invitational.
Okay.
The other events, depending on how close they are, if I get the weekends off, my weekends are pretty bogged up, which is why I gave Caleb the points. They mattered a lot more to him than they did to me. So that's why we split that way.
Where are you from? Are you from around here?
Around Toledo, Ohio. Little podunk town called Napoleon. So we're just about 30 minutes outside of Toledo, so it's about a 3-hour drive down.
Actually, I think Napoleon is where our car broke down, or pretty much it was then that general vicinity. May have been the nearest city we got to.
Hicktown, Henry County.
Yeah, Fremont is sort of.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Kinda
that area. Yep.
Who did you work with around here for this? Or around your
just
area
my roommate Ryan McIntosh.
Okay.
He's been playing Dredge forever, back before Time Spiral, and we saw the build with the Chancellors. Kind of worked with that. Found out the Chancellors were just terrible and wanted other ways of, filling up the graveyard, which that deck didn't have, and just evolved into this.
Do you have anybody else you want to credit for the deck, or was it just all you guys?
It was pretty much just us two. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it worked out pretty well for you. It kind of came out of nowhere, and you did great with it. So congratulations. Really good job. Awesome talking with you. Congratulations again, and we'll see you at the Invitational at least.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care. That was Nick Rausch talking to us about his manless Dredge deck. He just essentially took down the Star City Games Open Series Legacy portion with. It's been a fun weekend, Ari.
It really has.
It's been a great time working with you, seeing all these great decks come by. Standard, Legacy, talking about draft, everything in between.